Martin Odegaard is coming back, and I know exactly when. I know exactly which fixture. And I am telling you right now, this changes everything for Arsenal's season. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and do not move. Because today we are going deep. We are talking about the return of our captain, the FA Cup quarter-final against Southampton, the injury picture across the squad, and what all of this means for Arsenal's shot at making this season truly historic. Stay until the very end, because I have a full tactical and emotional breakdown that every single gunner needs to hear today. Like this video, if you want Odegaard back, drop a comment telling me how much you have missed him. And share this with every Arsenal supporter you know. Let us get into it. The date is circled, the fixture is identified, the mission is clear. Saturday, April 4th, 2026, St Mary's Stadium, Southampton versus Arsenal. FA Cup quarter-final, 8 o'clock in the evening, live on BBC One and TNT Sports. And Martin Odegaard, our captain, our heartbeat, the man who makes this Arsenal team tick in a way nobody else on the planet can replicate, is targeting that game as his return to action. This is not rumour, this is not wishful thinking, this is not a fan account speculating at midnight. This is coming directly from the Norway national team manager, Ståle Solbakken, who spoke to Dagbladet, one of Norway's most respected newspapers, and told them, in plain, unambiguous language, that a return to the Arsenal squad for that game is, in his exact words, within reach. Solbakken said that with approximately 2.5 to 3 weeks remaining until Arsenal's next fixture after the international break, it is absolutely a realistic target for Odegaard to be involved. He said there is no medical reason for Odegaard to travel to join Norway's March camp. He is staying back in London, working every single day, putting in the hours behind closed doors at the training ground, doing everything in his power to be ready for April 4th. And Football.London, one of the most reliable and well-sourced outlets covering this football club, has independently confirmed that Odegaard has been working with exceptional dedication during his rehabilitation. The word used was exceptional. Not good, not solid, exceptional. This is a man on a mission. This is a captain refusing to let his season die quietly. Let me be very clear about why this matters so much. Let me give you the number that haunts me. 6 points. Arsenal have dropped 6 points across the 3 Premier League matches this season in which Martin Odegaard was unavailable. 6 points in a title race where every single point is precious, where Manchester City and Liverpool are breathing down our necks, where the margin for error is essentially 0. 6 points dropped without one man tells you everything you need to know about his value to this football club. He is not just a creative player. He is not just a number 8 who keeps the ball moving. He is the organising intelligence of this entire team. He is the man who reads the press, who finds the half space, who decides when Arsenal go vertical and when they recycle, who steps into the pocket between their lines and makes defenders make impossible choices. When Odegaard plays, Arsenal have control. When he is absent, even with world-class players around him, the team loses something that cannot be replicated by committee. This knee injury has been a cruel, frustrating episode. You will remember it started against Brentford earlier in the season, a knock that seemed manageable, that seemed like the kind of thing a professional footballer of his quality works through. And then came the North London derby, the aggravation, the moment where everything changed, the moment where Mikel Arteta and the medical staff looked at each other and said, this one needs to be handled correctly. This one cannot be rushed. And to their enormous credit, Arsenal have not rushed it. They have been meticulous. They have been patient in a way that goes against every fan's instinct, including mine. When the Carabao Cup final against Manchester City was approaching on March 22nd and the noise was building, is he in the squad? Could he make it? Is he training with the group? There was a real possibility that the decision might be made to include him. The emotion of a cup final, the gravity of Wembley, the chance to win silverware, all of those things were pulling in one direction. And Arsenal pulled in the other direction. They made the disciplined, professional, long-term decision to leave him out, to protect him, to prioritise not just one game, but the full run-in across 3 competitions. And that decision, painful as it was on the night, now looks absolutely correct, because Odegaard will be available for the remainder of what could be a genuinely historic season. Let me talk about what that season looks like right now, because the context matters enormously. Arsenal are top of the Premier League, first place, leading the division. This is Mikel Arteta's most complete squad in his time as manager. And Victor Gyökeres, the Swedish striker signed from Sporting CP for £55 million in the summer, has been an absolute revelation with 15 goals in all competitions. He is the focal point the Gunners have needed for years. He is physical, intelligent, relentless, and has already cemented himself as one of the best summer signings in European football this season. But Arsenal have also just lost the Carabao Cup final. 2-0 to Manchester City at Wembley. Nico O'Reilly scored both headers. It was a painful evening. It was a reminder that at the very highest level, in the biggest moments, small margins decide everything. And without Odegaard's control, without his ability to manage tempo and suffocate opponents with possession and precision, Arsenal looked slightly disjointed in the final third. There was creativity, there was intent, but there was no conductor. There was no one telling the orchestra exactly when to play. That conductor is coming back. The FA Cup is still alive. The Premier League is there to be won. The UEFA Champions League quarter-finals are on the horizon. Arsenal drawn against Sporting CP in a fascinating, emotionally loaded tie given that Gyökeres came from that club. 3 competitions, all still live, all within reach, and Martin Odegaard could be available for all 3 of the decisive stages. Now let me talk about Southampton specifically, because this is the perfect fixture for his return in every possible way. Southampton are a championship club. They were relegated from the Premier League after the 2024-25 season and have spent this year rebuilding under their new manager Tonda Eckert, a 23-year-old German coach who was appointed interim in November after Will Still was sacked and made permanent in December. He has done an extraordinary job. Southampton are currently in championship playoff contention, sitting around 6th place on a 13-game unbeaten run in all competitions entering the international break. Eckert won the EFL Championship Manager of the Month for February. He is a genuine managerial talent, and Southampton deserve enormous credit for the season they are having. But they are a championship club facing the Premier League leaders in an FA Cup quarter-final at their own ground. And while cup football is unpredictable, while St Mary's will be rocking, while their form and momentum cannot be dismissed, Arsenal at full strength are a different level of opponent. For Odegaard, starting or coming off the bench in that environment is ideal. It is a genuine competitive fixture with real stakes. You cannot treat it carelessly. But it is also not the Champions League semi-final or a Premier League title 6-pointer. It is the right kind of intensity for a player returning from a knee injury. It is the perfect reintroduction. Southampton are also dealing with significant injury problems of their own heading into this game. Leo Cienza, their young Brazilian talent, has a groin injury that has kept him out since late February. Oriol Romeu, their experienced midfield organiser, has been dealing with an ankle injury. Mads Roerslev is out with a knee issue. Samuel Adesi suffered a hamstring problem in mid-February. Adam Armstrong, their most reliable striker, seized up with a back injury. Cam Bragg is also unavailable. The list is substantial. By April 4th, some of these players may have returned, but the depth of their injury crisis going into the international break is a significant factor. Finn Azaz has been their standout creative player this season, with 10 goals, a brilliant individual performance for a championship midfielder. Kaya Larin, the Canadian striker signed on loan from Mallorca on deadline day in January, scored with his first touch on debut and has added real presence up front. But across the pitch, Eckert's squad is stretched in a way that Arsenal's, even with their own injury concerns, is not. Now let us talk about those Arsenal injury concerns, because I want to be completely transparent with you. This is Isaac Arsenal Update, and we do not hide inconvenient facts here. Mikel Merino is done for the season. Foot surgery confirmed in January 2026. He is out. That is painful because Merino was signed from Real Sociedad for £51 million in the summer of 2025 and showed enormous promise, an intelligent, technical midfielder who added exactly the profile Arteta wanted. But his season is over, and that loss has been felt. Jurrien Timber came off in the match against Everton on March 14th with an ankle injury. He missed the Bayer Leverkusen's second leg in the Champions League. He missed the Carabao Cup final. Arteta has said he is still a couple of weeks away, which means April 4th is also his target return date. This is massive news. If confirmed, Timber at right back transforms Arsenal's ability to play out from the back and gives them defensive solidity with attacking quality in combination. Eberechi Eze signed from Crystal Palace in the summer, and what a signing he has been. What a player. What a statement of intent. Suffered an ankle injury in the second half of the Bayer Leverkusen's second leg in the Champions League. He missed the cup final. His status is still developing through the international break. Arsenal will be monitoring him closely over these 2 weeks. The hope is that a combination of Easy, Timber and Odegaard could all be available for April 4th. If that happens, Arsenal walk into the quarter-final as an almost completely different team to the one that lost at Wembley. The players who stayed at the training ground during the international break tell their own story. Gabriel Magalhaes, who signed a new long-term contract last summer, Eberechi Eze, Leandro Trossard, William Saliba, Jurrien Timber, and Martin Odegaard. 6 first-team players working through the fortnight, using every available day to be ready for the April run-in. No beaches, no rest, just work. This is the culture Mikel Arteta has built at this football club, and Odegaard is at the centre of it. I want to spend a moment on something that does not get discussed enough. The decision Martin Odegaard made in November when Norway qualified for the World Cup, their first in 24 years, an enormous achievement for Norwegian football. A moment of national pride that was felt deeply across the country. At that moment, Odegaard made a choice. He turned down the opportunity for a rest. He turned down time off that many players in his situation would have taken without hesitation. He chose to travel and be with his international teammates as they fought through qualification. That tells you who this man is. That tells you about the character of your captain. He is not a player who looks for the easy path. He is not a player who disconnects from the collective when it becomes personally inconvenient. He joined his Norway teammates because he understood what qualification meant to them, to Norwegian football, to the fans. And he will be there at the World Cup this summer, if his fitness allows, chasing the biggest stage of all for the first time in his career. But right now, his focus is Arsenal. His focus is April 4th. His focus is getting back on that pitch and doing what he does better than almost anyone in world football. I want to give you the tactical picture of what Odegaard's return means for this team, because I think it is worth spelling out in detail. In Odegaard's absence, Mikel Arteta has tried different approaches to replicate his presence in the 8 role. Kai Havertz has been used in deeper positions. Ethan Nwaneri, the teenage academy product who renewed his contract in August and has been nothing short of sensational in flashes, has been given more minutes than perhaps originally planned. Martin Zubimendi, the Spanish international signed from Real Sociedad for 51 million in the summer, and one of the most technically gifted defensive midfielders in Europe, has had to carry extra responsibility without Odegaard screening him from the other side. None of these are criticism of those players. They are all exceptional. Zubimendi has been outstanding. Nwaneri has moments that make you believe he could be a generational talent. Havertz remains one of the most intelligent footballers in the Premier League. But the specific combination of Odegaard and Declan Rice in central midfield is like nothing else in English football. Rice is the engine, the protector, the physical presence. Odegaard is the brain, the creator, the man who turns defence into attack in a single touch. Together, they are the spine of this team. Together, they make Gyökeres more dangerous because the service is elite. They make Saka more devastating because Odegaard finds him in pockets that nobody else identifies. They make the whole structure feel inevitable, like Arsenal in possession are solving a problem that the opposition cannot find the answer to. That combination has been missing. It is coming back. And now I want to talk to you plainly, supporter to supporter, because that is what this channel is about. This season still has everything. The Premier League title is genuinely there. Arsenal sit top of the table. Every game from here will be decisive, every point a battle, every performance scrutinised. But the foundation is right. The squad depth, even with the injuries, is the best Arteta has ever had. Victor Gyökeres arriving from Sporting CP and immediately becoming the £25 million top scorer. Christian Norgard from Brentford adding experience and tenacity. Noni Madueke from Chelsea adding pace and direct running. Christian Mosquera from Valencia giving defensive cover with composure beyond his years. This is a squad assembled for exactly this moment. And the Champions League, the quarter-final against Sporting CP. The irony, the story, the drama, Victor Gyökeres going back to face his former club is the kind of narrative that football writes for the greatest occasions. Arsenal reached the quarter-finals with a stunning 5-1 aggregate demolition of Real Madrid, 5-1 against the reigning European champions. That is not an overachievement. That is Arsenal announcing themselves to Europe in the loudest possible voice. The semi-finals against Paris Saint-Germain ended in a 3-1 aggregate defeat, but the quarter-finals against Sporting are still to come. And if Odegaard is back, if he is fit, sharp, and finding his rhythm through April, then Arsenal in Europe become a genuinely terrifying prospect. I said at the start that this changes everything. Let me tell you precisely why. In a season that was briefly threatening to feel slightly hollow, the cup final lost, the captain absent, questions being asked about whether it could all come together. This news is the reset. This is the moment where the narrative shifts. 6 points dropped without him. Imagine the points gained with him. Imagine Odegaard orchestrating a Premier League title run-in. Imagine him controlling a Champions League quarter-final against a club that knows him well from his loan spell at Real Madrid, a club whose striker, Gyökeres, he will now be serving on the other side of the pitch. Imagine him lifting a trophy at the end of this season. That is not fantasy. That is possibility. That is what we are playing for. Now, here is my message to Martin Odegaard directly, because I know people in and around football watch this channel, and even if he never sees this, I want to say it out loud. Odegaard, take every day you need. Do not rush a single session. Do not feel the pressure of the fan base or the noise online or the frustration of watching from the sidelines. The club has been right to be cautious. You have been right to be patient. But when you are ready, and April 4th is looking like the moment, this team needs you. These fans need you. This season is ready for you. Come back and finish what we started. Before I go, let me give you the full picture of what to watch over the next 2 weeks. Watch for Arteta's press conference in the final days before the Southampton game. He will give the most important injury update of the season. If Odegaard, Timber and Eze are all described as available or in training with the group, Arsenal's squad for that quarter-final becomes extraordinary. If there are setbacks, and I pray there are not, the timeline shifts, but the return is coming regardless. Watch Southampton, do not underestimate them. Tonda Eka is a brilliant young manager. Their unbeaten run is real, their belief is genuine. Finn Azar's has been extraordinary this season and will cause problems if Arsenal are not at their best. But at full strength, on form, with their captain back, Arsenal are a different machine. Watch the Premier League table. Arsenal are top. Every week matters. Every drop point is a gift to the chasing pack. Odegaard's return has implications, not just for the cup, but for the title race. His availability across April and May could be the defining factor in whether this club finally breaks through and lifts the Premier League trophy for the first time since the Invincibles. Watch this channel. We will have every update, every press conference breakdown, every tactical analysis, and every piece of confirmed news the moment it lands. This is Isaac Arsenal Update. We do not guess, we do not speculate, we verify, we analyze, and we deliver. That is everything for today. That is the full picture. Martin Odegaard, FA Cup, April 4th, Southampton away. The return is within reach. The season is alive. The captain is coming back. Subscribe if you have not already. Like this video if you felt that. Comment below. I want to know, does Odegaard start against Southampton or does Arteta ease him in from the bench? That debate is worth having. And we are going to finish this season the right way. Come on, you Gunners.